What if I told you that two teenagers from Ontario just became the most important additions to the Vancouver Canucks' future, and 99% of hockey fans have absolutely no idea who they are? While the hockey world obsesses over blockbuster trades and superstar signings, the Vancouver Canucks just quietly executed two moves that could define their franchise for the next decade. Riley Patterson and Gabriel Kyroat aren't household names yet, but these 3-year entry-level contracts represent something far more valuable than any expensive free agent acquisition. They represent hope, potential, and the kind of smart organizational building that transforms good teams into great ones. This isn't just about adding 2 more prospects to the system. This is about the Canucks demonstrating they've learned from their past mistakes and are now building something sustainable from the ground up. These signings reveal an organization that's finally thinking beyond quick fixes and flashy headlines, focusing instead on the unglamorous work of developing future stars before anyone else notices them. Let's start with Riley Patterson, because his story perfectly encapsulates everything right about modern prospect development. This kid from Burlington, Ontario, just wrapped up a season where he absolutely torched the Ontario Hockey League, potting 25 goals and accumulating 59 points with the Niagara Ice Dogs after being acquired from Barrie in the offseason. But here's what makes Patterson's story so compelling. This isn't beginner's luck or a one-year fluke. Over his 2 seasons with Barrie, he surpassed the 25-goal mark both times, accumulating an impressive 121 points in 132 games. That's consistency at the junior level that translates directly to professional potential. The most telling statistic? His 29 goals in 2023-24 led all OHL rookies. Think about that for a moment. In a league packed with highly touted prospects and future NHL stars, Patterson outproduced everyone in his age group. That's not just talent. That's the kind of competitive drive and natural scoring instinct that organizations spend years trying to develop in other players. Vancouver selected Patterson 125th overall in the 2024 NHL draft, which means they got him the 4th round while other teams were focusing on bigger names and higher profiles. It's exactly the type of value drafting that successful organizations master, identifying talent before it becomes obvious to everyone else. What makes Patterson particularly intriguing as a prospect is his combination of production and upward trajectory. Players who consistently improve their goal-scoring numbers at the junior level often carry that progression into professional hockey. His ability to adapt quickly to new systems, evidenced by his seamless transition from Barrie to Niagara, suggests the kind of hockey intelligence that translates well to higher levels. Gabriel Kyroat's path to this contract represents everything beautiful about perseverance and player development in hockey. Selected in the 7th round of the 2022 OHL draft, essentially an afterthought in most organizations' planning, Kyroat just delivered a career-high 21 goals and 35 points with the Brampton Steelheads. This is a player who was overlooked by every OHL team multiple times before finding his footing, yet he's now developed into exactly the type of prospect that NHL organizations covet. His 114 games with the Steelheads represent steady improvement and consistent development rather than flashy highlight reel moments. The Hamilton native selection as the 175th overall pick in the 2025 NHL draft tells a story of organizational patience and scouting excellence. While other teams chase obvious talent in the early rounds, the Canucks identified a player whose best hockey is still ahead of him and committed to his development with this entry-level contract. What makes Kyroat's story particularly compelling is how it reflects modern hockey's emphasis on character and work ethic over pure athletic ability. Players who overcome early career setbacks and develop through persistence often possess the mental toughness that becomes invaluable during professional careers. His career-high numbers last season weren't just statistical improvements. They represented a player finally putting together all the pieces of his game at the exact right time. That kind of breakthrough development at the junior level often predicts continued growth at higher levels. These signings reveal something crucial about Vancouver's organizational philosophy under current management. Rather than chasing expensive veterans or trading away future assets for immediate help, they're investing in the patient work of player development that creates sustainable success. Entry-level contracts for players like Patterson and Kyroat represent minimal financial risk with enormous upside potential. If either player develops into a meaningful NHL contributor, the Canucks will have secured their services at below-market rates for multiple seasons. If they don't pan out, the financial impact is negligible. This approach demonstrates organizational maturity that was often missing during Vancouver's previous attempts at contention. Instead of mortgaging the future for present-day improvements, they're building a foundation that could support sustained excellence over multiple seasons. The 3-year term for both contracts also shows confidence in their development systems. The Canucks aren't just signing these players and hoping for the best. They're committing to a multi-year development process that gives both prospects the time and resources necessary to reach their potential. The hockey world often dismisses junior league statistics as irrelevant to professional success, but that's a fundamental misunderstanding of how player development actually works. Consistent production at the junior level indicates specific skills and mental approaches that directly translate to higher levels of competition. Patterson's goal-scoring consistency across multiple seasons and team changes suggests an innate understanding of how to find scoring opportunities and convert them efficiently. Those instincts don't disappear when players move to professional hockey. They often become more refined and effective. Kyroat's late-career breakthrough demonstrates the kind of work ethic and adaptability that organizations value even more than raw talent. Players who continue improving throughout their junior careers often carry that improvement mindset into their professional development. The combination of production and character that both players have demonstrated makes them exactly the type of prospects that smart organizations prioritize. They're not flashy enough to generate headlines, but they possess the fundamental qualities that create depth and competition within organizational systems. These signings fit perfectly into Vancouver's broader organizational strategy of building through the draft and development rather than expensive free agency or desperate trades. By accumulating prospects like Patterson and Kyroat, they're creating internal competition and depth that becomes invaluable during playoff runs. The beauty of this approach is how it compounds over time. Two prospects might not seem significant in isolation, but when combined with other smart drafting and development decisions, they create the organizational depth that separates contenders from pretenders. Vancouver's willingness to commit 3-year deals to both players also sends a message to other prospects about their development priorities. When organizations demonstrate patience and commitment to player growth, it becomes easier to attract and retain other young talent who see clear pathways to professional opportunities. For Vancouver supporters who have endured years of frustration with short-sighted organizational decisions, these signings represent something more valuable than immediate roster improvements. They represent competent, long-term planning finally taking root. Neither Patterson nor Kyroat will probably make immediate impacts at the NHL level, but that's not the point. They represent the kind of systematic approach to talent acquisition that creates sustained success rather than brief periods of competitiveness followed by lengthy rebuilds. The excitement shouldn't be about what these players will contribute next season, but about what they represent for the organization's future. Smart drafting, patient development, and strategic contract management are the building blocks of championship teams. These signings also create positive competitive pressure within Vancouver's development system. When organizations add talented prospects, it forces existing players to elevate their performance or risk being surpassed by newcomers. Patterson and Kyroat joining the system means other prospects can't coast on past achievements or potential. They need to continue developing or watch newer additions pass them in the organizational hierarchy. That internal competition benefits everyone involved and ultimately produces better NHL players. The financial efficiency of these moves also preserves salary cap flexibility for other organizational priorities. By developing talent internally rather than acquiring it through trades or free agency, the Canucks maintain the financial flexibility necessary to add complementary pieces when their competitive window opens. Vancouver's front office deserves credit for recognizing value where others saw question marks. While flashier organizations chase obvious talent, the Canucks are quietly building something sustainable through smart evaluation and patient development. These might not be the signings that dominate social media or generate immediate excitement, but they represent exactly the type of organizational thinking that creates lasting success. Sometimes the most important moves are the ones nobody notices until they're producing results on the ice. What do you think about Vancouver's approach to building through the draft and development? Are you excited about these under-the-radar signings, or would you prefer the Canucks' focus on more immediate roster improvements? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let me know if you think Patterson and Kyroat have what it takes to become meaningful NHL contributors. I love hearing different perspectives on prospect evaluation.